Greetings and welcome back to yet another episode of the Daily Run, and today we're playing as Judas. Judas is one of those characters that kinda relies on the player to play him well if you wanna perform or have a good run with him. And I say that just because he has a very low starting HP, which means that dodging is very important, but to compensate he just kinda has a lot of high starting damage. And the fact you start out with Book of Belial, I would say that that is his main defensive option. And I say defensive option because I think having more damage in Isaac kind of makes you stronger, not only in an offensive manner, as in that you kill enemies faster, but it also makes you stronger in a defensive manner, as in there's less chance that the enemies will hit you. And that's just due to the fact because you shoot them faster, which means you spend less time in a room with enemies, you can kill some of them before they can even get to you, and then you have just a smaller pool of enemies you kind of have to avoid if you don't want to get hit. And when you have high starting damage, of course, that's much easier. So the usage of Book of Belial and just kind of knowing how to dodge well are very important skills for Judas, but if you can pull it off, I think he's one of the strongest characters in the game. Thankfully, the fact we have Book of Belial makes the first two bosses kinda easy. We also were quite lucky that we got 2 health drops, and not only that, we also got this beautiful Devil Deal. So we get the Dark Bomb, which will obviously serve as a way to regenerate health for us, and the fact that we only have Spirit Hearts is always great, because you can do some nice things with it, so something like permanent Polaroid invincibility. And also, it allows you to enter boss rooms like this one for practically free, which means we don't really have to worry about anything. And there's really no shortage of hearts as well, just because we have Dark Bomb, which will convert red hearts to blue hearts for us. So our health situation is kind of sorted. We also have the Book of Sin, which will be a great item to actually boost our swag points a bit, so that we have a way to get some more consumables. So something getting like keys or bombs is okay on the short term, where we can find secret rooms or just open some treasure rooms up. But on the long term, we're really hoping to get some of 2 of cards, so something like 2 of spades, 2 of clubs, 2 of diamonds, so we can kind of duplicate how many consumables we have, and that would be a great point boost for us. And of course, the coup de grace of the Devil Deals, we got the Mom's Knife, which is just an amazing item in the sense that we can use it to just stomp enemies. So at this point, this run is pretty much won. As weird as that sounds. So we had 2 Mom runs which end on the 3rd floor, in the sense that we're just so strong that there's nothing that can really stop us. And the fact this also only goes to Mom makes this kind of unfortunate that we have this strong run, which is kind of wasted. But at the same time, it's still better to have a good run that only goes to Mom than just have a bunch of bad runs in a row. What I picked up is Curse of the Tower in my first boss trap room, and I was really debating whether I should pick it. And Curse of the Tower, what it does, whenever you get hit, it just spawns a bunch of bombs around you. And that sounds like not maybe too big of a deal, or maybe it sounds like the worst idea possible, depending on your perspective. But I really thought, okay, I think getting 300 points in this situation is worth it, because I will do the boss trap room, and I'll just try not to get hit as much. And obviously, because this is Isaac, eventually you do get hit, and especially with a weapon like Mom's Knife, because Mom's Knife is just 4 directional, or maybe 8 directional if you know how to use it really well, which means that some enemies are just naturally more prone or likely to hit you, and I shouldn't be relying on that. And I really thought that 300 extra points will be worth it. But of course, what happens whenever you get hit, you spawn a bunch of bombs, and then it's kind of hard, especially if you're in a small room, it's hard to dodge them, which means that you're gonna end up hitting yourself again. But that wouldn't be that big of a deal, because after all, it's still my fault for getting hit. But what it really messes with, especially on a run that is as short as this one, I get Sackboy at some point in this run, and the Sackboy is obviously very useful, because it not only does it give you just a bunch of consumables, it gives you a better chance to find AWAS runes. In order to kind of get just a bunch of sacks, it's a very good idea to play the blood banks, and I will have an opportunity to do that later on. But of course, because I have Curse of the Tower, whenever I get hit, I spawn a bunch of bombs, and those bombs then destroy my blood bank, which means I cannot use it anymore. So that means that basically I cannot play the blood banks, which means I can't get the pennies, which increase my consumables, and at the same time, when I get Sackboy, or when I have Sackboy, I can't get the sacks, which would then maybe give me a chance to find AWAS runes. So in short, don't take Curse of the Tower, because it's a terrible item. It really has nothing going for it. And the fact that I get hit just so many times here, I think is a part take to just to let you know that maybe it's not only worth it for the damage penalty, but just because it does kind of negate that breaking potential. And the same thing goes true not just for this particular item, but basically any familiar that also picks up consumables. So Bumbo maybe, or the bomb, except Dark Bomb. Dark Bomb is obviously very useful, but the bombs in general, the Key Bomb and the Penny Bomb, I'm not really sure how it's called, but basically they do pick up consumables that sometimes you really need, if you want to get a good score, maybe if you want to reroll them in hopes of getting, like I said, more score, or just finding a way to go forward. And of course, people who didn't pick up the Curse of the Tower, I think, have just a much greater chance to actually find a way forward, and of course that means that on average they will get more points. Thankfully, we still get some nice combinations here via the poop and a lot of relax pills, and the fact that when the poops, I actually kill the poops, there's a lot of sacks in them, and the sacks then give me some more consumables. And overall, I had a good run going, and the fact, what really kind of ruined it, not really ruined it, but just took the chances away which I could have had, was the Curse of the Tower. And it's unfortunate when just one item breaks the game, but at the same time, Mob's Knife basically won us the run. So sometimes one item wins it the run, and sometimes one item loses it the run, or maybe not even loses it, just makes it a bit more unfortunate to kind of navigate. I'm kind of skedaddling around here, trying to kill the skulls in hopes of fighting AWAS runes, so I could go forward, or maybe just a Jera rune or something that would help me get just a bit more consumables. But sadly, I think I just rolled the skulls and I don't manage to get any runes of significance, or maybe I'll leave one or two behind, but still, I did my best I could. I even played the slot machine here in hopes of maybe getting a sack that would give me an AWAS rune, but I don't. I only get the $1, which is obviously still useful because the $1 does have a bunch of swag points with it. We do get 99 cents, and we do finish in 29th, which is not a good score at all, but at the same time it's not really bad either. I say it's not that good of a score just because I've played this relatively early, which means that there will be a lot of people that follow, and especially on a mom run, I can expect a lot of people to actually find a way forward. So I think in the end of the day, my score will be quite lower. And you can see my time again is very bad, and that's just because I guess I'm a naturally slow player. We did do boss rush, we teleported out of it, we did the best we could, and we did rank as we did. And with that said, I think that's all we could have done. I hope you enjoyed it, I hope you had a good time, and I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.